Kareem worked at the Amandala newspaper back at his zinc fence. And as you will get to find out, he was a humble person who his media colleagues appreciated to the fullest extent. The Amandala newspaper sent out a release today describing Kareem as an outstanding colleague, journalist, and friend, and that his murder has left a vacuum that will be hard to fill. The release states that Kareem proved himself as an up-and-coming writer. He was deeply involved in covering the passport scandal and the struggles that the sugar industry was facing recently. His last news piece was about the mother who lost her life while saving her children. Today, his family and media friends from all major news sources shared what Kareem meant to them.
It feels bad when it hits home, and that's just how we feel. We will really miss him. I don't think words can explain just how much he was an outstanding journalist. Like I said, he wrote beautifully, and he was always willing to show up. That is how I would remember him, just someone who was always willing to show up and was never ever afraid of the work before him.
Working with Kareem was a great joy. Oftentimes we find young people who say they're interested in media and the work, but when they realize the amount of work it really takes to be a good journalist, they get it's a daunting task to take on. And I believe that Kareem Clark took on that task with great enthusiasm, and he did a great job being a journalist. It was a pleasure to work with him. I had the opportunity to work with him on several stories. As a matter of fact, as Marisol mentioned, he's the go-to guy. He would go to places where some of us maybe were not inclined to.
Yeah. The only reason I would have worked on Saturday, I feel up the talk and vibes with Kareem. That the kind of person he was, somebody where you always want to be around. And I honestly never want to come to work today because when I got up my Facebook page, and I never want to believe that Kareem, I never want to believe that Kareem, I watched the youth come up, the youth that my friend make I feel proud. I even feel like, so I feel like I just call him my big son and anything there, because that's the kind of relationship we end up they had. Have fear that the kind of relationship we end up they have. People just end up they know about the chance the man out of life. That sorry.
Fortunately, I got to know Kareem about 2 years ago when I arrived at Love, but unfortunately he's dead today. I don't think anybody has anything bad to say about Kareem because he always had a smile on his face. He was a very humble guy, hardworking, very dedicated, as his colleague said. He was just not a media colleague. He had become part of the family, of the media family. And we'll miss him, and we'll miss seeing him around, seeing him on the scene, following up the murders, interviewing the Prime Minister, interviewing the other minister here and there. And he was a great friend. Very humble, like I said, very humble. And he'll be missed. He'll be missed greatly.
We had this kind of kinship. He was always someone I could go to, depend on, and return the favor for him whenever he needed anything. I always used to like meeting him at events. It was fun being at events with him. He had a sense of humor that I gravitated towards. I think it's a great loss for the media in Belize that he's gone now. He's a young man who had a bright future. Some words I can think to describe him: intelligent, dedicated, driven. And it's just sad to see that he no longer has the opportunity to pursue his future.
He came up from a challenge background, you know, say, and he had his own challenges just like I've had growing up. But that never stopped him from actually being ambitious and striving for excellence. You know, we're going to miss him, and we've had to cover murders many times. And I think sometimes people think that when you go on that scene, it's just to get a story. but it's the most uncomfortable thing having to cover a murder, and today having to cover the murder of a close friend and a brother.
I think one of the first things we'll find is that he's a very humble person. He think that he's better than anybody else. He understand and he want to learn. You understand? And I remember talking to him after this BTB mixer with him I had just recently, and Kareem said, "By doing, I struggle to get where I there. No, I don't want. I think he did not want to be a victim of circumstance." And where he came up from, and he worked hard for it, hard for make that difference. And I don't know how do you justify what happened to him?
And every time I would go on assignment and meet Kareem would say, "Shane, we will make it. We will make it." If there ever was a guy who really was motivated to change the stars, I mean, Kareem was the hardest working member of the media that I know, and he was one of the most productive. And if there ever was somebody who would really change their life and change their family life, Kareem was that person.
He's willing to learn how to become a better cameraman. He's willing to learn how to be a better reporter. He's willing to be a better journalist. He's always willing to better himself. And in doing that, he always became a better person. The smile, the smile, the smile, always the smile. He was the hardest working person in Belize journalism. He was everywhere. Unassuming, but always everywhere.
It's just a special, rare guy that we lost, just like a 0.01% human being. And so it's the loss is indescribable. The space, that's such a small, unassuming guy, but the psychic and spiritual space that Kareem occupied, it just leaves all of us with a big hole.